Good morning. Where to begin? I guess at the beginning with a title. 2012. Normal may no longer be normal. Yesterday, among many other things in a very busy day, I managed to listen to Alan Watts talk about mind control and other things in modern culture. I also watched the first 3 parts of a 7-part YouTube called Trance-Formation that discussed transhumanism. With both, I had disturbing thoughts about the level of control being exercised in the Matrix. This morning, after another night of waking up continuously, I have been pondering the question, what is normal? Perhaps as the human species mutates, normal will no longer be normal. What actually triggered the title was laying in bed after several times of waking up through the night. I didn't turn out the lights till after 11 o'clock, and I was still awake pondering things for a good half hour after that. But again, as has been happening a lot recently, it seems like getting more than an hour or a little more than an hour of sleep at a time is all that I can muster. Even when I lay down to take a nap, it seems lately I have, the last few days anyway, I seem like I have a lot of energy, and I think of something else that I need to do, and after 15 minutes maybe or so of not even falling asleep, I jump back up and I go and do what comes to mind that needs to be done. And I'm not able to get a continuous thing of sleep. And as I meditated on that this morning, I'm wondering what's going on with me. I mean, it has been normal for a long time for me to get by on 3 to 5 hours of sleep. That's been the norm for even before I started doing the videos. That was the norm for me. I mean, it was a very rare occasion that I would get 6 hours of sleep. Very rare. 8 hours, 7 or 8 hours, forget it. I mean, that's not been normal for me for a very long time. But lately, even what I used to consider normal is no longer normal. My norm is shifting and changing. And I don't know if this has to do with the ascension process or all the energies that are being downloaded on Earth. I don't know what. I am an observer of what's going on in my life. And as I said, I did watch/listen to the video by Alan Watts, and I've respected him for a long time. But he talked about how they're moving more and more into mind control, and how Bernice and some of these manipulators of human culture have been operating for virtually all of the 20th century, or at least most of the 20th century, and continuing here into the 21st century. And then my friend Mary from Pennsylvania asked me if I had watched the Trance-Formation videos, and I said I don't know that I'll get to them until later in the week because I have so much to do. But I did manage to watch 3 of them last night, and I actually started the 4th one this morning, but I'm only 37 seconds into it, where I get a quote from our wonderful friend Zbigniew Brzezinski, who wrote, "The technocratic era involves the gradual appearance of a more controlled society. Such a society would be dominated by an elite, unrestrained by traditional values. Soon it will be possible to assert almost continuous surveillance over every citizen and maintain up-to-date, complete files containing even the most personal information about the citizen. These files will be subject to instantaneous retrieval by the authorities. I didn't even go beyond that. I mean, I'll probably try to watch these other 4 videos today. But it's troubling, this transhuman culture that they're talking about, this making human beings technological beings instead of natural beings. And that is, for me, I don't know how it sets for you. Some of the people that were being interviewed thought, well, that's just the way it's going to be. That's the way it is, and it's going to be that way, and there's nothing we can do about it. We may as well go along for the ride. This controlled circus, this controlled thing dominated by an elite unrestrained by traditional values. Certainly, they're insane. They are absolutely insane people. And they are trying to create an artificial norm for the human being. Are we going to become, as some depict, technological beings? I mean, I read something a couple of days ago that in this new world, we're all going to be given a machine that when we want food, we just type in or speak into the machine and say what we want, and within a few seconds, we have perfectly nourishing food delivered to us like that. There will be no more shopping, no more having to farm and plant things. Is that the kind of world I want to live in? At first glance, the ease and instant gratification of it sounds, wow. But is that the kind of world that I really want to live in? Do I want my senses that dulled from what I've considered norm? Do I want that? And I don't know the answer. In this moment, I don't think I do. It does not. There's parts of it that sound appealing, but there's other parts of it that are very worrisome to me, very troubling to my mind. And I know one thing. I am very influenced by the internet and by what I perceive going on in the world around me. I'm also very enraptured and very focused on my response to these things as I look within and ask, how does it feel? How does it make me feel? And I encourage everyone, if you are so inclined especially, to do some of that self-reflection. Ponder, what kind of world do you want to see? Because I do believe that we are having an impact and playing a role on the future that is being created now. If we're willing to live in the now and we're willing to really get in touch with the deepest part of our being, we're going to be co-creators of what's coming tomorrow. I believe that more than ever in 2011 and 2012 and this period of time that we're living in. I believe that we're having that ability to tap into a power that has been latent in the human family for a long time. And by latent, it's been there, but we've not been conscious of it. It's worked pretty much at the subconscious level. Now I'm being given, and I know a lot of others that listen to me, are being given the opportunity to actually become aware of these processes of transformation, these processes of transmutation, as we are evolving into a different kind of a species. Are we going to become as what's the people's name? Um, oh, I can't think of it. The people in Florida that have the vision of the visionaries of the future, and they build these new cities and stuff like that. I can't think of what they're called in this moment, but it's a totally technological vision of the future. Now, is that vision of the future the one that doesn't seem to have any spiritual center, spiritual core? It's all technological advancement, which is, and I like a lot of their vision. Let me see. I got to see something here a minute. Did I see it mentioned somewhere? Oh, I don't see it. Anyway, Jacques something is one of the people. He's an old man, probably in his 90s. That's the visionary behind that Venus Project. That's it, the Venus Project. And I've been fascinated by some of the things that they put out, and yet it doesn't seem natural. It seems like they've avoided the spiritual nature part of the thing. And part of me sees the human family going back to a more agrarian thing where we, yes, can grow food maybe more rapidly than we could in the future because of our increased abilities, that we can plant something and watch it grow very quickly in a day or two rather than months or weeks, and eat the food. But having a machine do that, something doesn't feel right to me about that concept. I'm not saying it's not going to be great if I experience it, but I mean, it seems so unnatural. It seems so not normal. We're definitely going through changes, folks. We're definitely, as a species, we're definitely going through changes. Who's going to be in control? Are we going to be able to still empathize, or are we going to have these insane people that Zbigniew Brzezinski says unrestrained by traditional values? Well, some of the traditional values I don't agree with. I don't agree with some of the taboos that we've placed on our own sexuality and some of the other taboos that religions have imposed upon us to control us. So some of those traditional values I'd be more than happy to let go of. But what values will we use as we become a new species, as we become luminous beings? Instead of Homo sapiens, luminous beings, beings of light. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm pondering those things, and I don't have the answers. I've said many times, I don't have all the answers, but I do think it's important that many of us as can, get out of the matrix, get out of the thought patterns that are being fed to us as much as we can, that we reflect on these things, because we are the creators of tomorrow's world. And what forces are we allowing to work through us? Are they forces of good, or are they forces of greater control, where there's less freedom instead of more? You all know which side I want to be on. I want to be on the more freedom. I want each human soul, each human being, to be able to experience life in all of its fullness. But what is the fullness? How much of the negative and the dark are we wanting to bring into this, where the insanity is still there? What kind of leaders, or will there be no leaders in tomorrow's world? I don't know the answer. These are things that I'm pondering, and I invite you to ponder with me. Share what you feel, what you see. And you don't have to tell me, but you have to speak it to yourself. What do you want? What do you want? I want a world that lives in peace. But I don't want peace to come at the expense of everybody being controlled. I don't want that kind of peace. I want a peace that's based on a foundation of freedom, a foundation of compassion. That's a traditional value that I never want to let go of. I always want there to be love, because love is who I am at the deepest part of my being. And I've recognized that for a long time. And many of you have as well. We are love. We are part of God, and God is love. And that's a traditional value, as I said, that I never want to see go, because it's important that I'm able to love myself and love my neighbor as myself, and do unto others as I would want others do unto me. And I don't want to be controlled by sick people in a sick culture. And I don't want machines to do everything for me. I want to have to do some things for myself. And maybe I'll be moving into a world where I don't need to sleep. I don't know. That's not normal. But maybe normal isn't normal anymore. We're moving into a new norm. What's it going to be? I leave you with these thoughts. Namaste. Oh, where'd the cursor go? There it is.